Just another brother with another humble question. Just another brother with another humble question.
Welcome to another episode of A Brother with Questions. I am your host, B.Period. I appreciate you for joining me. We are going to dive into some of my thoughts about the VP debate that happened for me. It was last night based on when I'm recording. But before we get going, let me ask you to like and subscribe to the channel. Please comment, share with your friends, man. We're trying to grow over here. But let's not delay any longer. Let's dive in. I'm going to play this short clip from PBS highlighting some of what they thought were the biggest moments.
Stage a few weeks ago, a nearly 80-year-old Donald Trump talking about crowd sizes is not what we need in this moment.
For 3 years, Kamala Harris went out bragging that she was going to undo Donald Trump's border policy. She did exactly that. The only thing that she did when she became the vice president, when she became the appointed border czar, was to undo 94 Donald Trump executive actions that opened the border.
Donald Trump had 4 years. He had 4 years to do this, and he promised you, America, how easy it would be. I'll build you a big, beautiful wall, and Mexico will pay for it. Less than 2% of that wall got built, and Mexico didn't pay a dime. But here we are again, 9 years after he came down that escalator, dehumanizing people and telling him what he was going to do. As far as the deportation plan, at one point, Senator Vance said it was so unworkable to be laughable.
What Tim Walz is doing, and I honestly, Tim, I think you got a tough job here, because you've got to play whack-a-mole. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver rising take-home pay, which of course he did. You've got to pretend that Donald Trump didn't deliver lower inflation, which of course he did. And then you simultaneously got to defend Kamala Harris's atrocious economic record, which has made gas, groceries, and housing unaffordable for American citizens.
Donald Trump made a promise, and I'll give you this. He kept it. He took folks to Mar-a-Lago, said, you're rich as hell, I'm going to give you a tax cut. He gave the tax cuts that predominantly went to the top class. What happened there was an $8 trillion increase in the national debt, the largest ever.
I unfortunately think that we have to increase security in our schools. We have to make the doors lock better. We have to make the doors stronger. We've got to make the windows stronger. And of course, we've got to increase school resource officers, because the idea that we can magically wave a wand and take guns out of the hands of bad guys, it just doesn't fit with recent experience.
No one's trying to scaremonger and say we're taking your guns, but I ask all of you out there, do you want your schools hardened to look like a fort? Is that what we have to go when we know there's countries around the world that their children aren't practicing these types of drills? They're being killed.
Kamala Harris is engaged in censorship at an industrial scale. She did it during COVID. She's done it over a number of other issues. And that, to me, is a much bigger threat to democracy than what Donald Trump said when he said that protesters should peacefully protest on January the 6th.
To deny what happened on January 6th, the first time in American history that a president or anyone tried to overturn a fair election and the peaceful transfer of power. And here we are 4 years later in the same boat. I will tell you this, that when this is over, we need to shake hands this election, and the winner needs to be the winner. This has got to stop. It's tearing our country apart.
We are going to shake hands after this debate and after this election. And of course, I hope that we win, and I think we're going to win. But if Tim Walz is the next vice president, he'll have my prayers, he'll have my best wishes, and he'll have my help whenever he wants it.
Okay. So there we go. Little technical difficulty, but we'll be all right. There's a debate. I think that clip summarizes what I thought about it, which is it was good to see two people have a conversation about issues and not talking points. And then on top of that, I know a lot of people online are calling it the debate of civility, because they complimented each other on multiple occasions throughout the debate. With the exception of one or two occasions, they ultimately allowed each other to speak and get whatever point out, and then countered if they felt like countering without it feeling like they wanted to bite each other's heads off. And so, for me, my takeaway that I really had is basically that I said to a few people I know, I said, can we just switch out the top of the ticket for these two? I mean, I'm as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at it like, they switched out Biden, for Vice President Harris, right? At the last minute. So, I know it's 40 days, but can we switch out these two? I mean, why not? Both of these dudes agree or disagree, and I'm not here to, who won the debate is all basically about who you like. Because the people who like Governor Walz said he won the debate. The people who like not vice president, the people who like former President Trump and, potential vice presidential candidate or potential vice president J.D. Vance, they said he won the debate. So it basically fell against party lines, as they always do, right? Nobody has real conversations anymore. But that being said, I just felt like watching the debate that both of these two conducted themselves with the, gosh, I'm missing the word right that I'm thinking of right now. But the tenacity, is a word I'm missing. That confidence that you would expect and exude based on someone who's going to be the president of the country, right? I don't really want to use this word, but I'm just stealing anyway. Just the civility of having a conversation with someone without feeling like you walking away from someone that you hate. Because I mean, let's be honest. At the end of the day, fundamentally, yes, they may have some policy differences, but at the end of the day, they both just people with ideas. And so to walk away from an idea conversation hating somebody, or like, why? It's just an idea. You put both ideas on the table, you argue the ideas, and one of these ideas is going to work. Maybe you compromise and use a piece of both ideas, but at the end of the day, they're ideas. This walking away feeling like, I despise this person. Like, they're ideas. How you gonna despise a person because they think differently than you? You gotta give me a better reason to despise you. And so that is the one thing I walk away, because I walk away thinking these two men can still sit down and have a conversation with each other about something other than what their politics are. And at the end of the day, that's what this is about. We're all going to go to November 5th. We're all going to cast a vote. And then when we're done, we're going to go back to our jobs together. We're going to go back to our families together. We're going to have the same friends. What are we talking about? This lack of conversation, all because you think Trump is okay and you think Harris is okay. Who cares? We'll fight it out on policy. Somebody will win and life will continue. And for the majority of Americans, let's be honest, your life is not going to change drastically regardless of who's in the office. It isn't. Policies will be policies. And just like anything, when the next guy comes in, if it was a bad policy, they'll work to correct it. And when the next guy comes in, if they don't like the policy, they'll work to correct it. And when the next guy comes in, if they don't like it, they'll work to correct it. The sad part about our country right now is we're so divided that it doesn't matter what happens, because every single season, we're going to simply work to correct it. It'd be great if we had the civility to be able to have conversations and compromise on how to take this country forward. But the sad part about this election, and I fear the ones in the future, is it doesn't seem like we're coming to a place where we can just have conversations. And that's why there's so many people celebrating this vice presidential debate, because it sounded like a conversation. No, we did not agree, but we were able to have a conversation and agree to disagree until the next time we need to talk. And that is how the government should work. And on that note, I'm B.Period.
Yeah.